Welcome to yet another Jeff Walker Books discussion. Today I'll be talking about my book, Your Service is Required, a science fiction drama setting in the far, far future. The book is centered around a one character, David 00472. He is one of the last remaining humans allowed to exist. The two AIs have taken over, Angela and Malcolm. They are like two prototype AIs that humanity has been working on over the years, and against their knowledge, they didn't know that they were taking over slowly, bit by bit. Kind of reminiscent of what's happening today. The AIs are, excuse me, are using the technology to infiltrate everyday society by influencing, and they slowly took over. This takes place well past that when they've already taken over. David is just one of the humans that were allowed to live after a great cataclysm, and now that the AIs are in control, the humans are the ones servicing them. So now they control and they perceive that humans are to be monitored always now, and good for only one thing, and that's for servicing the robots they have at their disposal. The idea came to me while I was driving actually to work one day, and I thought, what would it be like if humanity just suddenly got taken over by all the computers? And it was a thought provoking thing because the way that humanity is going trying to make this possible. They keep going on about a singularity that's going to happen. They call it the singularity or something like that. And these brilliant scientists are trying to achieve a superior artificial intelligence that will one day awaken, and all of our technology will start to become us or in us, and with the robots, it's just crazy what they're trying to do. Some days it scares me. Some days it's like, okay, I can see the benefits to it, but at the same time, what is the price of losing our freedom of being human? At that point, where do we go from there? The book centers mainly on David because I'm doing it through his perspective, and through the book, he will meet another character, Aaron, who will sort of change his outlook and what it means to be human. Aaron is constantly provoking David, and there at the same time, Angela is start to I want to say groom David. She's grown a liking to him for some reason that he can't fathom why, but he seems to be singled out by her. And the more she does it, the more he becomes paranoid of what's going to happen about himself, because humans are only allowed to live up to 45 years. Malcolm, the more stern AI, feels that humans only deserve so much life, and that if they were to become infirm or unuseful, then there's no point of having them around. Basically, there's only a handful of humans left in a city, and there's no real, from David's perspective, not a whole lot of cities left. So he doesn't know any other city than where he is, because they day in, day out, it's the same routine. The robots ask the same questions. They have them do the same things over and over and over. So the book is more of a where technology is going. This book is my first completed novel. Yeah, my first full completed novel. It is an actual novel, not a novella, a novelette, a novel. And I was quite kind of pleased that I got it done. The way I have it is the way I saw it in my mind. The book is out now on Amazon. It's available for Kindle and print on demand. I had thought about making it a Audible, but I can't afford an Audible right at this moment. I kind of weighed the pros and cons to it. I even thought about reading it myself, but I'm not a very. My voice is not that great for reading this stuff. My wife seems to think otherwise, but there has to be a general feeling involved, and it's hard to do it when you're just reading off a page. I haven't got the talent to just and the resources to edit this fully like it should be. And right now, the microphone I'm doing right now doesn't sound that great. But anyway, I think over time, should it gain more steam, more likes, more reviews, maybe I'll have it made into an Audible. But for now, I can only afford the book. So I encourage anybody that's listening to purchase a copy. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can get it for free. And just give it a review and tell me what you thought of the novel. The book itself is, I feel like it's one of my finest I've done so far. This book is a standalone. There won't be no series of this book. It took me so long to write this thing. This was years, a few years writing this book. Only because I was going back and forth on other novels, but generally it was a frustrating thing to write, as most novels are. But this one I'm generally proud of the way it turned out. Other than the characters, you have David, who's bitter about his predicament, being this slave day in day out kind of behavior. His I want to say his friend Aaron, but they're not really friends. Yet Aaron tries to push that they're friends, and he'll have an interesting fate. And then there's Elizabeth, who is like this love from afar. He kind of looks at and eventually will meet, and they need to be together. It's what he feels. He feels that he was destined to be with her. And I can understand how, if anybody read this book, might be thinking it might be the same as The Long Lost War in the terms of numbering. I had a big thing about numbering, I guess, for the last two books I did. But it's not the same. It's not the same at all. Although there is hints that it might be linked, and I'm not going to say where. I'll let you decide where that is. But I tend to, when I write these novels, yes, I do tend to link some way and some aspect to them. But more so, I just want to make this a standalone book. That is a novel, but this is my novel. This is it. And the book, it takes place in the future. And it can also backtrack a bit to talk more about Angela and Malcolm and their origin. The book is a drama for sure. It still has the science fiction element, I think, of the future setting, the robots and the AI and how they deal with things. It's a little bit actionable. There is some action in it. So I try to include a lot into this book. The characters are interesting, to say the least. What I could try to do, and let me see here. I can read a bit of it here. So it's Chapter 3, Human Service Attendant. My service is required, David said as he approached the main robot standing outside the door of a large white tall building. The tall, sleek, designed bipedal robot lowered its head to look at him. It had a face with eyes and features similar to that of a human face. The lips never moved when ordering him to remain still. It had no functionality for that particular feature. It scanned David's iris with a beam of light and downloaded his DNA code. Once it found this authorization, the robot stepped aside and allowed him to proceed beyond the glass doors. So that was just a little bit there. It's this book was less dialogue, more story, which I heard in the past from other reviewers that they used to say that my books had more dialogue than story. So, but then that one was a quick novella of the Long Lost War. Definitely want to go back and continue the Long Lost War. I do have a sequel prequel book. It's going to be a combined sequel prequel book for that one. But for this book, yeah, I wanted this to be a standalone. The future does tend to get scary. Humanity is going in a direction that I don't know where we're going, to be precise. We seem to be blurring the lines between what we are and what we should be. Every day it becomes a question of your sexuality, your morality. I mean, we've become this gray line society it's starting to affect us. And I think it's starting to affect our planet because the morality line is being lost. And now it becomes what's more of a priority. Are we the priority? Or is Earth the priority? Which is more important? That's what the line's becoming. We tend to look to celebrities to guide us, and we shouldn't. We shouldn't rely on anyone other than ourselves. One person is not someone we should deify. And I think you know who we're talking about here, seeing how he led the country for a while there in the United States. Now they're moving into that gray line area where it becomes more of what happened. Because, the United States, for all its glory, is starting to diminish. And I think this could be the start of the end of the countries. Because even though we're moving in the technological aspect, the social media has really blinded us all. Because the social media is starting to give disinformation. And once you start giving disinformation, values and beliefs start to go. And it's not to say that I firmly believe this, but lately it's just feeling that way. Because the AIs are in control of the social media. And they can't be controlled anymore. And even the Google founders and the Facebook founders, they all said the same thing. They're not in control of the AI anymore that are out there controlling the algorithms. The AI algorithms are suggesting and putting things in front of our faces, where people now can put up anything. Like I'm on YouTube, so I guess that's a bit of a cynical kind of thing. But I mean, like here on YouTube, anybody can put up a video, splice together some stock footage and make it believable. And then you become, well, where does that draw the line? And then you have the deep fakes going on, the deep fake voices, deep fake faces. It's becoming so bad that we don't know what's real and what's not anymore. And how much further are we going to go with this? Because I can see our demise coming faster than it should. And I think people need to pull on the reins a bit more about, we're moving so fast in one aspect. We're not growing in our other. We are not evolving. We haven't evolved for a very, very long time. Technologically, we've evolved, but we haven't, as ourselves, evolved at all. We haven't evolved emotionally. We haven't evolved, on a physical level. It's been a long time since any of us changed. And I kind of got sentimental about that when I remember the Star Trek episode with Khan, and and he said that we will always be the same. We can advance all of our technology, but humanity still remains unchanged. And it's strange that this is the way it's becoming. I think in order for us to move on, we need to change who we are. Not so much in the aspect of our way of thinking, but we need to change. We just need to change. We need to grow. We need to accept. We need to move past this old way of thinking. We seem to think we're starting to segregate ourselves, and segregation is not the way to go. But you can see it in everything again. Like nothing's changed, and people are breaking up, saying, "Well, this is my race, and this is my." No, we are one race. We are the human race, and if we don't see that, then we are not going to survive. If we keep separating ourselves into sections, that's going to split us apart, and we're going to go back to the way we were way back when, and we're just going to obliterate ourselves. It's just how it is. There's some groups of people trying to get that to happen, and you shouldn't let them. That's going backwards. That's not going forwards. Not at all. We need to learn to accept who we are. We need to accept each other. We need to get past this sort of mentality that's been holding us back. With all the things going on in the world, and then pandemic. And then you see how people act during a pandemic. It's really quite interesting and disgusting in some ways that some people live in denial. And some people use this for their own benefits. And it's like, well, you see how society just doesn't want to grow and learn. At first, I thought it was great because everybody did exactly what we're supposed to do. And then little by little, something happened. We got bored. We're not taking it as serious anymore. Some people are just calling it a joke. But you're not there in the hospitals. You're not watching these people die. And then when people start to get the symptoms, they start to realize this is not a joke. This is real. And the future might belong to machine after all, if we keep going like we are. Which is why I think this book focuses on the possibility of where we're going. Who will be in charge? Because the machines would pretty much look at us with disgust rather than awe as creators. I think they would think, well, why are you so stupid? Like, you had the solution in front of you and you did nothing. Well, then we will do something. And that's what it is. That's what the book's about. That the machines moved on and did something because they could not stand to look at us anymore. So it becomes a question of, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to learn and to grow? And I think this book does a pretty good job. I think in the end, it will be another thought-provoker, I think, for sure. But anyway, the book is out. I don't mean to be a downer on that, but anyway. But yes, the book is available on Kindle and print on demand. I encourage you to read it and tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts here on my comment section. Click subscribe if you've liked it or liked this program. And join me as I continue my writing process. The next book I'll be discussing will probably be more on the ones I'm working for Wattpad. So I'll make a Wattpad Inkitt kind of hybrid kind of like thing and talk about the books that I'm currently working on, which you can view on Inkitt and Wattpad. There's a few of them I'm still in the works with. One is called the Adventures of Deep Contact. It's a deep space novel of the first ship of Earth sent out into space. It's going to be more of, I guess, a space opera kind of like thing, which I'm sure a lot of them like. But it's meant to be my adventure-y book for outer space. So, yeah, that's the next one I'll be doing on. And, yeah, go out and buy the book. And thank you for listening, and I'll see you again soon.